Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is the 45th and current President of the United States. Before entering politics, he was a businessman and television personality. Born and raised in Queens, New York City, Trump attended Fordham University for 2 years and received a bachelor's degree in economics from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. He became president of his father's real estate business in 1971, renamed it the Trump Organization, and expanded its operations to building and renovating skyscrapers, hotels, casinos, and golf courses. Trump later started various side ventures, mostly by licensing his name. Trump and his businesses have been involved in more than 4,000 state and federal legal actions, including 6 bankruptcies. He owned the Miss Universe brand of beauty pageants from 1996 to 2015, and produced and hosted the reality television series The Apprentice from 2004 to 2015. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., born November 20, 1942, is an American politician and President-elect of the United States. Having defeated incumbent Donald Trump in the 2020 United States presidential election, he will be inaugurated as the 46th president in January 2021. A member of the Democratic Party, Biden previously served as the 47th vice president from 2009 to 2017 and United States Senator for Delaware from 1973 to 2009. Raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Newcastle County, Delaware, Biden studied at the University of Delaware before earning his law degree from Syracuse University in 1968. He was elected a Newcastle County Councilor in 1970, and became the 6th youngest senator in American history when he was elected to the U.S. Senate from Delaware in 1972, at the age of 29. Biden was a longtime member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and eventually its chairman. He opposed the Gulf War in 1991, but supported expanding the NATO alliance into Eastern Europe and its intervention in the Yugoslav wars of the 1990s. He supported the resolution authorizing the Iraq War in 2002, but opposed the surge of U.S. troops in 2007. He also chaired the Senate Judiciary Committee from 1987 to 1995, dealing with drug policy, crime prevention, and civil liberties issues. He led the effort to pass the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act and the Violence Against Women Act, and oversaw 6 U.S. Supreme Court confirmation hearings, including the contentious hearings for Robert Bork and Clarence Thomas. He ran unsuccessfully for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1988 and again in 2008. Biden was re-elected to the Senate 6 times, and was the 4th most senior senator when he resigned to serve as Barack Obama's vice president after they won the 2008 presidential election. Obama and Biden were re-elected in 2012. As vice president, Biden oversaw infrastructure spending in 2009 to counteract the Great Recession. His negotiations with congressional Republicans helped pass legislation including the 2010 Tax Relief Act, which resolved the taxation deadlock, the Budget Control Act of 2011, which resolved a debt ceiling crisis, and the American Taxpayer Relief Act of 2012, which addressed the impending fiscal cliff. He also led efforts to pass the United States-Russia New START Treaty, supported military intervention in Libya, and helped formulate U.S. policy toward Iraq through the withdrawal of U.S. troops in 2011. Following the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, he led the Gun Violence Task Force. In January 2017, Obama awarded Biden the Presidential Medal of Freedom with distinction. Trump's political positions have been described as populist, protectionist, isolationist, and nationalist. He entered the 2016 presidential race as a Republican and was elected in a surprise electoral college victory over Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, while losing the popular vote. He became the oldest first-term U.S. president and the first without prior military or government service. His election and policies have sparked numerous protests. Trump has made many false or misleading statements during his campaign and presidency. The statements have been documented by fact-checkers, and the media have widely described the phenomenon as unprecedented in American politics. Many of his comments and actions have been characterized as racially charged or racist. During his presidency, Trump ordered a travel ban on citizens from several Muslim-majority countries, citing security concerns. After legal challenges, the Supreme Court upheld the policy's third revision. He enacted a tax cut package for individuals and businesses, rescinding the individual health insurance mandate penalty of the Affordable Care Act, but has failed to repeal and replace the ACA as a whole. He appointed Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. In foreign policy, Trump has pursued an America First agenda, withdrawing the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade negotiations, the Paris Agreement on climate change, and the Iran nuclear deal. In April 2019, Biden announced his candidacy in the 2020 presidential election, and he reached the delegate threshold needed to secure the Democratic nomination in June 2020. On August 11, he announced U.S. Senator Kamala Harris of California as his running mate. Biden won the 2020 presidential election of November 3 against President Trump. Thus, he is only the second non-incumbent vice president to become president-elect of the United States, besides Richard Nixon in 1968. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. was born November 20, 1942, at St. Mary's Hospital in Scranton, Pennsylvania, to Catherine Eugenia Jean Biden née Finnegan, 1917-2010, and Joseph Robinette Biden Sr., 1915-2002. The oldest child in a Catholic family, he has a sister, Valerie, and two brothers, Francis and James. Jean was of Irish descent, with roots traced variously to County Louth and County Londonderry. Joseph Sr.'s single-quote parents, Mary Elizabeth née Robinette and Joseph H. Biden, an oil businessman from Baltimore, Maryland, were of English, French, and Irish descent. He imposed import tariffs which triggered a trade war with China, moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, and withdrew U.S. troops from northern Syria. Trump met 3 times with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, but talks on denuclearization broke down in 2019. A special counsel investigation led by Robert Mueller found that Trump and his campaign welcomed and encouraged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election under the belief that it would be politically advantageous, but did not find sufficient evidence to press charges of criminal conspiracy or coordination with Russia. Mueller also investigated Trump for obstruction of justice, and his report neither indicted nor exonerated Trump on that offense. After Trump solicited Ukraine to investigate his political rival Joe Biden, the House of Representatives impeached him in December 2019 for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The Senate acquitted him of both charges in February 2020. Trump reacted slowly to the COVID-19 pandemic. He downplayed the threat, ignored or contradicted many recommendations from health officials, and promoted false information about unproven treatments and the availability of testing. In the 2020 U.S. presidential election, major news organizations have projected that Trump lost his bid for re-election. Biden's father was initially wealthy, but had suffered several financial setbacks by the time Biden was born. For several years the family lived with Biden's maternal grandparents. Scranton fell into economic decline during the 1950s and Biden's father could not find steady work. Beginning in 1953, the family lived for several years in an apartment in Claymont, Delaware, then moved to a house in Wilmington, Delaware. Joe Biden Sr. later became a successful used car salesman, maintaining the family a middle-class lifestyle. At the Archmere Academy in Claymont, Biden was a standout halfback and wide receiver on the high school football team. He also played baseball. A poor student but a natural leader, he was class president in his junior and senior years. He graduated in 1961. At the University of Delaware in Newark, Biden briefly played freshman football and earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1965 with a double major in history and political science, and a minor in English. He had a C average and was ranked 506th in his class of 688. Biden has a stutter, which has improved since his early 20s. He says he has reduced it by reciting poetry before a mirror, but it has been suggested that it affected his performance in the 2020 Democratic Party presidential debates. In 1977, Trump married Czech model Ivana Zelníková. They have 3 children, Donald Jr., born 1977, Ivanka, born 1981, and Eric, born 1984, and 10 grandchildren. Ivana became a naturalized United States citizen in 1988. The couple divorced in 1992, following Trump's affair with actress Marla Maples. Maples and Trump married in 1993 and had one daughter, Tiffany, born 1993. They were divorced in 1999, and Tiffany was raised by Marla in California. In 2005, Trump married Slovenian model Melania Nos. They have one son, Byron, born 2006. Melania gained U.S. citizenship in 2006. Trump went to Sunday school and was confirmed in 1959 at the First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, Queens. In the 1970s, his parents joined the Marble Collegiate Church in Manhattan, which belongs to the Reformed Church. The pastor at Marble, Norman Vincent Peale, ministered to Trump's family until Peale's death in 1993. Trump has described Peale as a mentor. In 2015, after Trump said he attends Marble, the church publicly stated he is not an active member of the church. In November 2019, Trump appointed his personal pastor, televangelist Paula White, to the White House Office of Public Liaison. In October 2020, Trump said that he now identifies as a non-denominational Christian. On August 27, 1966, Biden married Neely Hunter, July 28, 1942–December 18, 1972, a student at Syracuse University, after overcoming her parents' reluctance for her to wed a Roman Catholic. The ceremony was held in the Catholic Church in Scottsdale, New York. They had 3 children, Joseph R. Beau Biden III, February 3, 1969–May 30, 2015, Robert Hunter Biden, born 1970, and Naomi Christina Amy Biden, November 8, 1971–December 18, 1972. In 1968, Biden received a law degree from Syracuse University College of Law, ranked 76th in his class of 85, and was admitted to the Delaware Bar in 1969. While in school, he received student draft deferments, and afterward was classified as unavailable for military service due to asthma. On December 18, 1972, Biden's wife Nelia and their 1-year-old daughter Amy were killed in an automobile accident in Hockessin, Delaware. Biden's sons Beau and Hunter respectively suffered a broken leg and a minor skull fracture, but doctors predicted they would recover fully. Biden considered resigning to care for them, but Senate Majority Leader Mike Mansfield persuaded him not to. I think I would end here and continue in my next episode. Trump abstains from alcohol. He says he has never smoked tobacco or cannabis. He likes fast food and French cuisine. He has said he prefers 3 to 4 hours of sleep per night. He has called golfing his primary form of exercise, but usually does not walk the course. He considers exercise a waste of energy, because he believes the body is like a battery, with a finite amount of energy which is depleted by exercise. In 2015, Harold Bornstein, who had been Trump's personal physician since 1980, wrote that Trump would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency in a letter released by the Trump campaign. In 2018, Bornstein said Trump had dictated the contents of the letter and that 3 agents of Trump had removed his medical records in February 2017 without authorization. Statements by White House physicians Ronnie Jackson and Sean Conley in 2018, 2019, and 2020 said Trump was healthy overall, but was obese. Several outside cardiologists commented that Trump's 2018 LDL cholesterol level of 143 did not indicate excellent health. Trump's 2019 coronary Connecticut calcium scan score indicates he suffers from a common form of coronary artery disease. Trump was hospitalized with COVID-19 on October 2, 2020, and treated with the antiviral drug remdesivir, the steroid dexamethasone, and an unapproved experimental antibody drug made by Regeneron. He was discharged on October. Join me as I continue in my next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, Like and share with friends and family.